right, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about belts. We're talking about belt kit. We're talking about what we're putting it on it, right? We're gonna say why you might be doing it wrong, how I do things, and how to set one up, right? I'm gonna go over my belt and hopefully show you, right? E2, E3, who's watching this, brand new guy. I'm gonna try to show you what I wish I had known 4 years ago when I started wearing a belt professionally in a military setting. So let's hop to it. First things first, your gear is going to be completely dependent on the job you do, right? I'm talking about air-based ground defense here. I'm talking about security forces in the Air Force as it pertains to deployed environment situations. If you're a cop, it's going to be similar, but kind of different. Most MPs or Master at Arms could probably watch this video, take something out of it. If you're a civilian, some of this might apply to you. Some of it might be a little bit specialized. But primarily, this is defenders and defenders in deployed environments, right? First things first, if you're security forces, you're going to be carrying a handgun, right? The handgun is a secondary weapon system, but it's probably the first thing you're going to draw, right? It's going to be what you have on you all the time, right? Whether you are at the gate or on a flight line, anywhere around the world, this is always on your hip. Unless you're in a nuke field, I think that they often just carry a primary. But for most defenders, this is going to be essential, right? And if you're right or left-handed, it's going to affect where your handgun goes. I'm sure you know that. You're not stupid if you clicked on this video, right? My audience is very smart. The smartest, some people would say. But anyway, you probably have an issued holster attached to your belt. I personally, this is my own M18, by the way. It is not my duty weapon, personal M18. But I like to use the leg strap along with the, I don't like the drop leg holster. I like to be belt mounted, right? I've been told by people that you want the barrel kind of at the bottom of your arm when you do this little motion, and that's kind of going to put it where it's an easy draw, right? In my opinion, right? I like it about this high. You go a little higher, a little shorter, but handgun and handgun magazine are going to be the first two things you're going to want to put on your belt, right? If you're a normal cop doing normal cop stuff, you're going to have a 21 rounder in the gun and a 17 on the belt. I personally run an STAT Kiwi. These are made in Oregon. They used to be fairly affordable. I'm sure they probably still are. I've had this one since like 2022. It's been fantastic. There's not a lot to go wrong. All it is like some canvas with a little Kydex insert. I keep the extra 17 in there. It's comfy, right? Next thing is going to be your primary weapon system, right? So your primary is going to be the M4. Anyway, so the next thing is going to be your M4, right? You want to feed this. You want to feed this with ammo. If you're a normal base cop, you're going to be carrying 1 in your gun, probably 3 on your vest, right? I personally, when I was doing law enforcement, always kept 1 on my belt, right? 1 in the gun. You never know when this might be empty. If you have one on your belt, that's a way quicker reload, for me at least, than reaching from the belt, right? It also takes more weight off of your vest. You already have almost 20 pounds worth of ESAPI plates in there, so you might as well have something in there for just a quick reload, right? That's where I like to run mine. If you're nukes or if you're doing deployed operations, you're gonna have to carry 7 magazines, right? So that's gonna be 1 in your gun, 6 on your body. I carry 1 here, 2 more in here. This also doubles as it can be 1 smoke grenade, right? And then on my vest, I have 3. So if I have 3 and 3, I'm good. I have another 2 on the side, which can be a smoke grenade or additional magazines, because you never know when you might need more. But I like to carry at least 2 to 3 on my belt. Because if I don't have my vest for some reason, which sometimes happens, right? If you're sitting up at the talk or in some situation when your vest is off, I can still fight like this. I still have my M4, I still have ammo, right? So you never know. This is your first line gear. This is the first thing you put on in the middle of the night, right? This is the first thing you put on in the morning. So you might as well have everything there to fight. All right, now as a cop, you're gonna want handcuffs on the back, right? At least 1 pair, maybe 2. I ran them at the 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock positions. I currently have a canteen pouch. It's kind of a multi-purpose dump pouch, canteen pouch, whatever I want to throw in there. And my tourniquet. But when I was a cop, I had 2 pairs of handcuffs, along with a handcuff key. I don't have it on here anymore, but these Zax tools are like 14 or 15 bucks. They're made in America. super handy, right? Gloves, mechanics gloves, super handy. If you're closing up gates, you don't want to get rusty stuff all over your hands, right? If you're going hands-on with somebody, if you're doing a search, you never know when you might need mechanics gloves. In a deployed environment, do I even need to go into how useful it is to have general purpose touch gloves, right? Super handy. Always keep them right here. I keep electric tape. Not super handy if you're a base cop, but in general, electric tape's always handy. For continuing around the back, I have a Blue Alpha first aid kit. It's a micro trauma kit. I got it from my supervisor because he didn't like how it dug into his back when he sat in cars. Personally, I really like it. I have some combat gauze in there and an eye patch and a Sharpie, some other little odds and ends, just minimum stuff so that if I get hurt, someone can get me either back into the fight or get me home safe-ish, right? Just something to pack bullet wounds. Hopefully I will never be shot. That's the goal, but you never know. Going around, I have a just general purpose pouch. A lot of people run a dump pouch on the back. I've never really liked them because when you run, it bumps into your legs, but if you don't mind that, it is super handy being able to just put stuff in there, right? All right, moving back around, handgun, we've already touched on that, right? Practice your draw. You should be able to always pull this without looking. You should be able to put it back in without looking. This is your primary most of the time if you're a cop, and if you're a civilian, most of the time, right? If you're on a ranch or something, or if you are like a doomsday prepper or after like a hurricane, like having a handgun on you most of the time is what you want, right? Do you want to have a rifle with you all the time, or do you want to have a quick self-defense tool? I don't know. Practice with the handgun. People don't do it enough, myself included. We have a compass pouch, and by compass pouch I mean frag grenade pouch, but it currently houses my compass, right? So it's right there, tied off with a string, as all important sensitive items ought to be, because you never know what the swamp or the forest or the jungle is going to take away from you. So anything that matters, tie it off with 550 cord. This is also a frag grenade pouch, so if I had to move this, I could keep an M67 in there, which would be badass, but I don't carry them often, only the smokes. I also have a Leatherman in a little HSGI Taco. These are another really good pouch. A lot of units issue them. I got a couple here at Moody, and the Leatherman's handy, right? 249 goes down, Leatherman. Freaking M4 goes down, Leatherman. I need to open a gate, I need to open an ammo can, I need to pop something off of anything. I have a can opener, pliers, just basic shit, right? Carry a Leatherman, carry it somewhere on you. I carry it on my belt because it's probably one of my most used items, right? Yeah, so I guess my takeaways, my advice here, get a belt, get a good belt that fits, right? This is a Blue Alpha Force belt, or Blue Alpha, right? I've had this for a long time. Fantastic. It's an outer inner belt, so I have Velcro on the inside. Very cool little thing. As you can see, we have the outer belt on, clip, Cobra buckle, pops it off. Everything's Velcro lined on the inside, as well as one wrap on the micro trauma kit. And on the inside, we have my favorite inner belt in the world, right? Comes across, right? Blue Alpha, American made. Goes through this loop, pull it tight, and then it pops back around. I like this a lot better than the overlap. And then throwing it back on, Cobra buckle opens up, attach it on the back, attach it on the front, clip down. Now you're ready to fight the enemy, right? Mine's a size 34. I like having extra stuff on the end because, you know, sometimes you put on a couple pounds and sometimes you take off a couple pounds. So it's nice to have a little bit of extra. I've definitely moved that around so far, right? But yeah, get your magazines set up where you can reach them. Obviously, your support side should have all your stuff. If you're left-handed, put your shit on the right side. If you're right-handed, put all your mags on the left side. Yeah. Make sure you practice, right? You should be able to draw, you should be able to load without looking, and you should be able to reholster without looking. Extremely important. And just get a belt, practice with it, sit around in your dorm or your house, and just get reps. Get reps drawing, get reps holstering, and just train with your belt, honestly. I know people say that and it's cringe, but yeah. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions about anything, post them in the comments, and I'll see you next time.